Hi everyone, I am very happy to bring you this review of the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot by Caitlin Matthews. I did not purchase this deck. I was actually gifted this deck by a viewer very lovingly, and she thought that I would connect with it, and she was right on. I was surprised. I hadn't heard anything about this deck previously, and it's one that, looking at it online, doesn't lend itself to the beauty of this deck and the power of this deck. I'm sorry guys, you're going to hear Luca in the background eating his snack. I'm just not going to try to not make this right now. I think when you look at this deck online, you don't see the power of the images and the beauty of the images in the same way that you do when you view the deck in person. So when I opened the package from her, which she also included this beautiful piece of raw tiger's eye, which, can I just say, I avoid tiger's eye. I mean, I know I need to work with it, but it's one of those stones that I will often avoid working with. But this raw piece has been such a balm to my soul. So to the person who gifted this to me, and I know you gifted this to me like 7 months ago, but I just want to say thank you to you, because this has been a really healing piece of tiger's eye for me, and it's helped me to connect with the stone in a really powerful way that I have been avoiding before. So I opened it up, and the deck comes in a box. It's slightly nicer than like a typical Llewellyn box, but I put it aside to save it for this review, but I cannot find it anywhere. So it's like a silvery box, very pretty, but what grabbed me is this backing. This is one of the most incredible backings that I've ever seen. I don't know why I love it so much. I don't care. I love it. I love this backing. And as an aside to this review, my mother is a very gifted artist. And so I grew up with a lot of classical paintings, like images around the house, books, etc., especially when I was very young, before they found the religion that they did. And she was very enamored of Michelangelo and Da Vinci. And so Da Vinci's artwork, especially his drawings, have always called to me. And to know that there was a tarot deck that was actually showing his artwork, not inspired by his artwork, because I know that there are decks out there like that, but that are actually drawings of his and connecting with his in such a powerful way, was really beautiful. So I just want to say thank you to the viewer who sent this to me, because you didn't know like on how many levels this was going to be a very healing experience for me. So thank you. Let me say this about this deck. You have to enjoy his drawings, and you have to also like be a person who doesn't mind being overly stimulated by color. I mean, a person who doesn't mind not being overly stimulated by color. Let me clarify that. So if you're someone who connects better with like the power of the pop and Mary L. Tarot, and really finds this not enough to jog the intuition, then this is going to be a deck that doesn't speak to you necessarily. If you are someone who hasn't studied Da Vinci's work, or, you know, it's not that you have to have, but I think there are a lot of layers to this deck. Let me say that. The guidebook, the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot, is a nice fat guidebook. It's beautiful. It has lots of information on it. And she goes into Da Vinci's, you know, the thoughts behind his work, etc., as well as the traditional meanings. And she talks about soul code meanings and upright reversal meanings, and also the disconnected aspect. So let me just, because I have to be honest with you guys, I really don't use the guidebook at all with this deck. It's just, it's not that type of deck for me. She talks about, let's see, I just want to see if she discusses, here so I can show you. No, I can't find it in here, but she does talk about, sorry guys, hold on, I got something on my skirt, gotta fix that. She does talk about the basics of the tarot and how it's set up, as well as Da Vinci's history. So you can kind of marry the two together. If you're new to tarot, I think you could still have an understanding of the basics with this book, which is very powerful. And she talks about the, oh, hold on. Oh my gosh, Vincent and I just were outside this afternoon while my husband was mowing the lawn, and it's just gorgeous out there. So beautiful. Okay, so getting back to the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot. I did find the page that has the card meanings. So you'll see that on the actual card meaning, she has a demi section, which are a phrase that Da Vinci used to his pen for tell me when he was writing. And so she has that quote, like, for instance, let's see, card names have been changed, by the way, guys. Like, for the Hierophant, the demi is, how do you bridge the microcosm of daily life with the macrocosm of spiritual existence? How can you mediate between the imponderable or irreconcilable things in this matter? And then she talks about the background of the card, which gives the information about Da Vinci and biographical information about his life as well and the work of the subject. Then she does the soul code. So this shows how the chosen card helps or challenges your soul's destiny. You can use this paragraph for meditation. And then the upright is the conventional meaning. Reversed is the conventional spread meaning for reversals. And then in the disconnected section, she talks about if you find a card difficult or if you have an inner ambivalence about it, then try consulting this portion of the guidebook meaning. So the guidebook is really definitely very extensive and helpful, and gives the unique view, the unique lens of Da Vinci's viewpoint of life, but also of how it's going to work with this deck. But like I said, I really have not been using the guidebook. This has been more of like a personal, intuitive deck for me. So, but I did want to share that part of the guidebook in case you are wondering. So I'm going to show you some images now. This is the Ace of Fire. And you'll see that many of the traditional titles in the Major Arcana have been changed. And again, these are all his drawings. So if you are not drawn to Da Vinci's drawings, then this probably isn't the deck for you. But if, like me, you're fascinated by them and you find a lot of beauty in them, then, then I think you will really get a lot out of this deck. It's a very different deck. Like, this is one of my favorites, and interestingly enough, it's the element of air. This is the Ace of Air. But do you see? The camera can't pick it up, but it's so beautiful to me. And the other thing is, the images are sized on the card, so some of them, the image is quite small, like this one. And you might find that that's distracting for you if you like the image to take up the whole picture, the whole card. I don't mind, because again, like, here's Deluge. I love it. I just love this deck. And it's one that I maybe wouldn't have purchased just from looking at other videos, but when you see it in person, it's just really, really special. And again, it's very different. It's a very unique voice. And it's really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. This is one of the extra images in the deck, so there's 2 extra, and she does talk about that in the guidebook, and I'll let you explore that yourself if you decide to purchase the deck. Love that one. There is, no, that's perfect. Let's see, there are a couple that I want to pull out. Enigma, which we all know what that image is. Studies for, you know, for the world, you have this traditional, not traditional, this kind of really popular image of his. But there is, yeah, I love this image of strength. because we so often see a female, it's interesting that it's from a masculine perspective of strength and an exploration of that, which I found really, really fascinating. It's like images like this, just stuff from his journal, sketches, drawings, beginnings of works, I find so fascinating, and I just love that they're in this deck. This is one that I really loved. Yeah. And as a teenager, this was an image I had on my bedroom wall. It was an image that I could step into and really be very free from the life that I was stuck in. So that image is really special, and I love that she's the Lady of Earth too, because I'm a Taurus. So really for me, I think this deck is so special because of the connection that I have with his work. And I do feel that she brought a lot of love and attention and faithfulness to creating this deck and to honoring Da Vinci's works. And it's not just like a throwaway deck. It was created with a lot of intention. And see that? It's just awesome. It's an awesome deck, guys. And there's one other one I wanted to show you. Hold on. I'll show you that one. And then, yeah, this one. I had this image on my wall for years, too. And that's the Ace of Water right there. See, again, you can't see it, but the movement that he portrays in images and drawings like this is just incredible. It's so special. So, and here's the Lady of Fire. Let's see. I'll show you one other one. I don't want to show you everything because this is a deck that, here we go. This is a deck that you really want to experience and explore for yourself. And as a side note, a really beautiful thing about purchasing, I guess, but being gifted a deck from someone else or working with a used copy is that the cards are wonderfully broken in, and this deck was like perfectly broken in. 3 of Fire, Matrix. And then I wanted to show you the Lovers, which is called Twins in this deck. So the care, the attention to detail that's been brought to this deck really makes it stand out. And it is not a throwaway deck. It is one that asks to be used with intention. I just want to show you this image again while I'm talking. With focus, with... it makes me think of the words purity of soul. And by purity, I don't mean virginal. I mean by valuing your worth and what you're bringing to the table, as well as the worth of the deck and what the deck is bringing to the table too. So it's one that does ask for study, but it does not need to be guidebook study. Again, like I said, I've been using it very intuitively, and it's really been a beautiful deck to commune with just energetically while I'm in my house. So it does bring the intuitive piece in, but it does ask that you be aware of that intuitive work and bring a focus and a value to the work to the table. So I feel like it's a really good working deck. Like, it wants to be in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? It's a really, really special deck. That being said, and it's special to me, and I have no intention of not having this deck in my collection for the rest of my life. That being said, though, I do want to say I think it's a unique deck, and it's not for everyone. So I think, like I said earlier, you've got to be either drawn in by these drawings or have that visceral, like, gut reaction of wanting to push it away, which means that it's a good one to work with. You know what I mean? You've got to have either one of those reactions, I think, in order to really connect with the deck and experience it in its full power. Other than that, I think you might have a tendency to kind of ignore this deck, which is really a diamond in the rough. It just needs the attention. So I would say it's one that does require work. It's like working with the Hermetic Tarot or the Thoth Tarot. It does ask that you pay attention, and that you pay attention to yourself as well as the deck itself while you're working with it. But if you can devote that time to it, and if you feel that love and that connection with it, then it's one that you're going to want to work with for the rest of your life. It's a really beautiful deck, and I'm deeply, deeply honored and grateful that the viewer who sent this to me sent it to me, that she knew that it would be one that I would love, and I do. I love it deeply. And again, the guidebook is a wonderful guidebook. So if you are looking for a meaty guidebook that you can get, sink your teeth into, as I like to say, you're going to find it with this. You won't be disappointed. It reminds me of the Wildwood Tarot guidebook as far as the attention to detail, in that she doesn't leave anything out. The reasons why the image was chosen for each card is completely and fully shared. So this is an awesome deck. It's not for everyone. So if you don't feel drawn to it, or like repulsed in that way that you need to look at it, if you're not having either of those polarities of experience looking at the card images with me, then I would say it's probably one that you want to wait on purchasing. But if you do feel drawn to it, you're going to love working with this deck. I mean, as soon as I saw this backing, I was like, whoa. The backing alone, I could spend hours with. So I highly recommend this deck. Again, only if you feel drawn to it, though. If you don't, then it's probably not the deck for you. It's probably not one that you want to invest in and add to your collection. It is one that does want to be worked with, not just for show. So if you're looking at purchasing this deck, I hope that this video review has helped. And again, special thank you to the viewer who knew that this deck would be just right for me. You were right on, and I love this deck dearly. As always, I am sending you much love. Many blessings, guys. See you in the next video.